Hi, and welcome to today's Monday Musings. My name is Stephanie R.J., that's Stephanie A-R-J-E, and I'm the author of Shackled by Shame and Liberated by Love. Now, we've been going through the book chapter at a time, and right now we're at chapter 13, which is Rebuilding and Restoring Relationships. I have with me my friend, Keiko Shin, and she brings to the table some gifts and wisdom because of her background as a licensed counselor. And would you like to say a little bit before we get into topic?
Just a little bit. Yes, I'm a professional licensed counselor. I am so excited to be here and to talk about such an important topic. And during the season that we're in, and relationships are so important. And so I'm just glad to be here with you.
So I want to start with reading the beginning of chapter 13 because I think it'll set up the direction of our conversation, things we want to share with you. Healing from emotional and verbal abuse is more than separating from a harmful, destructive relationship. It is the beginning of new adventures where we are invited into a sacred romance with the lover of our souls and our perfect Father. During this part of the adventure, we continue to discover who we really are and what has been stolen from us. We learn what we willingly surrendered for the sake of peace or comfort that should not have been given away, and we learn how to take it back. We have the opportunity to experience mental, emotional, and spiritual victory as we wrestle with old lies and ways of thinking and making healthier decisions. It's a different type of work than before. Before we were fighting to keep our heads above water. Now we are fighting to walk in the new discoveries that we are making.
Wow, it's really powerful. It's good.
So in light of this truth, you know, there are people who have, this will be their first holiday, their first season separated from perhaps their abuser, or whether they're in a legal separation or whether they're actually divorced. And so what would you say to that person who might find themselves in that situation?
Sure. Well, it is a very tenuous, strenuous adjustment that's going on, not only just mentally, emotionally, but just trying to just live day by day, recognizing a loss, recognizing that your old way of living is no longer, and trying to pick up the pieces of your heart and try to find a new way of living, new normal way of living. And so that can be very stressful. So I think what comes first is to have a sense of community, to have those that support you, to be around you, to also really be able to have maybe access to a counselor, to be able to really walk through this journey, not alone, and someone who can come alongside you and give you some basic practical steps of how to get that new way of living going. That's really important. And then obviously the spiritual component, which is, really depending completely in God, our Father, our Savior, our best friend, our counselor, and to find refuge in this time and to be open to, expressing how you're feeling to God, and not to feel like ashamed or guilty to feel. You have permission to feel, and to really be able to be open to God as much as possible in the heartache, and know that He's faithful to walk alongside you. As He says, He will never forsaken you. He will never abandon you. He will always be faithful to meet you where you're at. So
I think for me, in my experience, my first Christmas alone, now by the time I was separated and divorced, my children were out of the house basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I had to make the decision of what my home was going to look like, for example.
Right.
I mean, I would always decorate for the family.
Right.
And I had to make the decision to decorate for me.
For the family, and now.
For me. That I am good enough
Yeah.
And that was one of the first things I, in a way, reclaimed.
Powerful. Yes.
Was saying, I don't have to be like the martyr or the victim, and I'm just going to do this for the family.
Right.
But I can do it for me, and the joy of the Lord can help me through. Now, I'll tell you that I pick up a handmade ornament to hang it on the tree, and I have to be honest and say, ouch, was my response. But by the same token, this year I looked at some of those ornaments I had saved, and I thought, well, maybe I should throw them out. And then I looked at them and I went, no, because some of them actually did represent something sweet. I was actually in a place of wholeness to the point that I say we had some handmade ornaments, dough ornaments that we made. The kids were really, really little. They're like 40 and 42 now. So they were like preschool. But their dad and the kids and I sat and we made those ornaments. And finding sweet moments is really, I just want to validate that.
Yes, and actually finding new meaning.
Yes.
In that. While you're holding it, you're looking at it, and just being able to still remember, but kind of also coming into a new story with it, like seeing it in a new way, in a new lens. Yes. And I think in an abusive relationship, which is what, I mentioned it because it's what my book is about. You tend to first look at it all as it was terrible, it was awful, everything about it was bad. And you can't, I remember listening to other people talk about memories of their families and all, they laugh and they tell these stories. And I thought, I had no laughter stories. But when I looked at these ornaments, it's like rewriting the story, which isn't that exactly what God does with us? That's so powerful. Yeah.
When he redeems us?
Yes, he redeems you. And what's wonderful is that, again, he takes the pen, if you're re-scripting, rewriting the narrative, he guides you with his hand and helps you to see in a new way, shedding his light, bringing new life into something that at first glance, has a concept of grief and loss. But he can always bring a rebirthing. And that's the gift that he gives us on a daily basis. And so I just love your resilience too, to bounce back and to be able to gift yourself. I deserve this. I'm worthy of joy, of love and peace. And I'm reclaiming it. So it's very powerful. So,
well, if you enjoyed what we had to share today, then I invite you to share it with other people. This video not only will be posted on Facebook, but it'll be posted on my YouTube channel, Stephanie RJ, ARJE.com, on YouTube, Stephanie RJ, ARJE. And stay tuned, because we're going to do a few more of these on different things about the holidays. Walking out, rebuilding and restoring relationships is also a part of this holiday season for those of us who have been wounded or experienced great loss. It could be loss in terms of a death of someone important. It could be loss in terms of becoming single. It could be loss in terms of changes in family structure, geography. There's lots of different things, but they all present us with the opportunity, if we turn our hearts to the Lord, to rebuild, restore the relationships of those closest and dearest to us. Thank you so much, Keiko.
Oh,
Keiko.
It was a joy. It was a joy. Until next time.